Yar! Welcome aboard the Cringe. I'm your captain, Joey, Joey. And today, day 69 with a 5-star island. So that means 69 days of chores and tours. At some point, I'll change the style of video. Ooh, rain! Hey! Yes, I am excited for rain. I've had rain, this is day 4 within this month. So, it's a big day. Growing flowers I haven't had. Nice. Today I got an opportunity to, oh, nice. I think this is fake. Uh-oh. Let's see what these are. Board game. This full painting. I already have the painting. Pirate ship helm. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, yeah. I gotta figure out where to put that. I actually got an opportunity to steer a ship. That was pretty fun. We'll put that here. Make sure it's in the back. Good. That's my pirate room. Okay. So I think the wistful painting is real, but we already have it. So, according to my spreadsheet. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for a quick drive-by if that's what you do. Any little bit helps. I recognize Animal Crossing is not everybody's cup of tea. In my case, coffee. Uh-oh, we have a book. That, of course, is the beverage of choice. Okay. Something tells me it's going to be Velma. I don't know. I got a chance to clean up the island this morning before getting started. So, that always helps. Reduce the amount of shells on the beach. I got to remove an ear of my headset. Yeah, my headset, I usually talk in like a rhythmic pattern, and I'm trying to stop doing that. I've been trying to stop for almost 3 months now. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. That's why I remove an ear. All right, let's see what's going on. Ooh, a bug. Already have it. Oh, nothing there. Yeah, I have not perfected the art of talking while listening to yourself on a headphone. So that's one task I'm going to have to learn in order to be a better YouTube personality, I guess. Nice. Yep. Today is the day. Finally, we're back to our full schedule. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Away. And before we get going, I did not do this. Eat. We're going to eat 6 of these. So hopefully that means we get an extra gyroid this morning. There we go. All right. Nice. Cool. So I've decided I'm going to go back to just playing Animal Crossing. And if I do 2 videos a day, it'll be Animal Crossing themed. So... yeah, that last game really bothered me. It didn't bother me. I got frustrated with it. First fossil of the day. No, I just am taking a break to... ooh, that's a good sized fish. I'm going to have to. All right. Nice. It's a good sized fish. I've caught many of those. I know a lot of people are probably like, I could never get that. I already have that bug. Not much is going on in my world today. Visiting my son, so that is a big deal. He looks forward to it. One of his goals is to increase his time at school. So I'm going to show up about 15 minutes later today. For most people, 15 minutes is not a big deal. To an adult child on the spectrum, it's a big deal. It's a change of routine. That might be a rainbow stag, but we're going to give it a shot. Boom. Yep. We had to give it a shot. We're still missing the golden. Come back here real quick. So the latest information that was released, that there may be a casual link or a causal link between acetaminophen and autism. I don't get political on this stuff, and I don't get political on the channel, so but I am interested in whatever people can find out to help understand the origins of autism. So, ooh, pumpkin cupcake. Cool. And then we can ask her about the book. Yeah, there we go. I think it's going to be... Winnie. Okay. I think Winnie's one of the horses. I should know this. Yeah, so I am impressed that people are still digging in to find answers. I mean, just like with cancer and all those kind of things, we've made huge jumps in cancer technology and, you know, those type of things. So anything to continue the discussion and the potential for a link, I'm okay with. With my son's case, I think he was partially denied oxygen in the womb. And this isn't an insult. When my little guy was delivered. Yeah, okay. When my little guy was delivered, they thought he may have been in a struggle for air. So they were getting ready to suction. And I honestly think that's where my sons came from. There are a lot of theories out there, and I'm okay with theories. I don't care. I understand, you know, theories help the discovery and the process for autism. So I don't get offended. I just want people to continue to find a link. We haven't heard anything on autism in a while, so a xylophone. I can't remember what this is. Yeah, so I'm open to any type of research. Oh, nice. Okay, I think we have this. That type. I think we have it. Yep. Yeah, so I don't take that all personal. I just want to find a cure. And I don't care who's releasing the information as long as they keep on digging. A lot of people are taking that to different realms that, you know, I think is unproductive. Is that number 4? I think we may have it. It is. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so the link for acetaminophen, you know, and it's no shame on anybody who's taken it, right? This is just alarming concept, like alarming connections. We don't, it's not saying that it is what that is, right? I don't believe, you know, I don't take stuff personal. So I'm not upset if somebody has taken acetaminophen and now they're kind of feeling guilty. We didn't know. So, you know, how can we take it personal when we didn't know? So, according to that study, I'm going to have to do more research. But it looks like there's an alarming connection. Doesn't mean it's the cause, right? but it just recognizes that there's there's similarities and there's, just something to think about to forward that discussion. I'm also interested in the new medication for autism. I think that's pretty exciting. I think that's pretty cool. Anything to help, I'm all for it. And I recognize that, not everybody shares the same view, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a scientist. I have a degree, but that doesn't make me a scientist. All right. It just makes me a little bit more open to information. Now let's make a donation. Okay. Okay. So, I already have that one. You can see. There. I'm still missing a weed. I'll have to go back and look. So anyways, as a person that holds a degree in one of the sciences, I'm open to looking at data and, and if it's a connection that could potentially be there, I'm okay with it. Why not just explore it? So when I see data like that, it always intrigues me a little bit. Because it just means that there's a puzzle, right? And we got to figure out what that puzzle, right? So if there's a connection to acetaminophen and autism, that's pretty interesting. And to me, what is the connection with other elements? So I'm excited for the science. And I just want people to keep on pushing, right? That's it. I don't take it personal. I don't care who releases information, right? Because to me, it's important. It's, that's part of the reason why follow-on education is exciting, is because we don't know all the answers, right? And if we can make a connection somewhere, or at least explore connections, my new recipe, a veggie quiche, then at least starts the discussion and keeps the discussion moving. So to me, that's important. All right, let's see what we're gonna do. I double check the pumpkin pancakes. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable about getting rid of that. Yeah, I'm all for science, though. Before I got my degree, I was involved in sciences as well. More somewhere connected to atmospheric. So, I love looking at data. So that's why I'm encouraged when I hear... So that release, I think, was on Tuesday. So I'm always encouraged for data. Data doesn't solve problems, right? It's not saying that this is a definite. It's just saying there's an odd connection, right? Or there's a connection and we just got to figure out where that connection's at. So it can be promising and troubling all at the same time. Yeah, we'll give her this. But at least we're starting to dig, right? If nothing else, right? We can rule it out if it's not 100% with follow-on studies. So it's interesting because that's what I look at studies for. Can't do 30,000. Okay. That's what I look at studies for. Studies to me don't automatically, or they do not automatically say, hey, this is the answer. But what it does for me is says, hey, there's a link of some sort. There's a connection of some sort. We don't know what the link is, so we just need to dig further. So I'm impressed when I see new studies. If I was president of my country, what I would do... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. What I would do is... I would do, let's go to the moon speech, right? And I would encourage pharmaceutical companies and colleges to work together to solve big diseases, whatever they might be. Right? Kind of like President Kennedy, who when he went to the moon, he set out a national goal, and that national goal is what I would do. Right? I would have multiple agencies doing research along with colleges, and I would fund scientific exploration. All right, I think we have this. On a closer look. I don't remember what this is. I don't know what that is. I can't remember. Alright. I gotta go to the... I gotta go to the statue. Alright. Ancient. Alright. Oh, getting there. Okay. Mystic. We have it. So this is fake. So we'll buy it. We'll buy it to change the... We'll buy it to change the stock. Yeah, so I like studies. Getting back to the science discussion, I absolutely love, it's not saying that there is a connection. It's just saying, hey, further exploration needs to be happening. Right? right? So if there's a connection, if there's not a connection, there's similarities, right? There's an abnormally high, you know, right. So if acetaminophen is part of that discussion, then it doesn't say Tylenol is bad or acetaminophen is bad. It doesn't say that. What it's saying is, you know, there's something to dig in here a little bit further. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that one. It's real, but I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah, it's just saying, hey, you know, there's a pattern of occurrence that is occurring, right? A pattern of something to notice. And that's what I love about science, right? So anyways, off my soapbox. The origins of soapbox. In the early days, soap used to come in crates. And so town criers and all those type of people that would go out, lean into the public's ear, would get out and stand on a soapbox. To stand a little bit above so people would notice. And they'd get up and so it was kind of like having a stage. All right, here. And I need to go back. So I think the hardest part with autism for me, since I'm already on that subject, the hardest part about autism for me is when you're a parent, you have all these goals and expectations, right? And sometimes parents have a hard time realigning their goals, right? We have expectations for children. We always want our children to do the best and be the best and want them to go on and conquer the world, right? That to me is a hard part of autism, right? You have to realign your goals. And a lot of parents and marriages fall apart because of it, including mine. It may not have been the root cause, but it led to it. Autism is outside of the personal aspects of children, it strains a marriage. Right? It's kind of like, I'm going to bring up a case from when I was younger, the Adam Walsh case, right? That family, the Walshes, their marriage didn't survive because of the extra pressure, scrutiny, and how their lives. Autism is very similar and does the same. So it's not a bad thing. It's just what is. Very few marriages make it. And I shouldn't say very few. There are some that do. Where both parents are committed. But that was not the case for my family. I raised my son on my own for the bulk of his life. And it was only when he became an adult that I kind of realized I couldn't do it alone. It's a tough thing to have to swallow. But it's not a bad thing. You know, our children have unique challenges. And when autism's concerned, they're overwhelming. But I wanted him to be in a safe environment in case anything happened to me. And one thing I've learned about autism is you got to start training young. Right? That's why early intervention is big and key for growth. So I already have that bug. So that's why, you know, he's in a facility now. Not a facility. He's in kind of like a... It's not a halfway house or anything. It's assisted living. There we go. You know. And so, one thing I've learned is you got to start that early. And if anything happened to me, I didn't want to have it happen out of crisis. Right? I would rather have those in place before those things happen. It's a struggle, but he's got his own room. You know, he calls it Daddy's or Joey's house, Daddy's house, that kind of thing. So, but it's not perfect. Obviously, he'd want to be at home, but he gets the support he needs. He's able to live his life as he wants. You know, he's able to go for rides and that kind of stuff and do the things he likes. Alright, let's go over here and double check. One last sweep of the beach. Yeah, what the heck, we'll do a little fishing. Yeah, it's... You know, autism is more... It affects everything around you. My little guy's on the severe end, so his autism looks a lot different than the casual stuff that you see on... Yeah, I haven't fished in a while. Yeah, so his autism looks a little bit different. He can read sight words. Hold on. Yeah, he can read sight words. He can communicate. To his ability. And as long as you understand his patterns, then you should be good. But it isn't perfect, you know. He's going to need assisted living for the rest of his life. I like the facility he's at. Ah. Ooh. Work. It's not perfect, but they have some good staff. Not all, but generally the staff is good and they're supportive. When you put your loved one in a facility, you know, some of the things that you expect, you have to change your viewpoints a little bit, right? Right. There are some things I don't like. But when I go to his place, I'll listen to his music. When I go to his place, you know, the things I don't like, I change, right? I don't like that he didn't clean up his room, I go and help, right? Or if I don't like something that they do for him, I encourage that discussion with his staff, right? And most of the staff are pretty good with it. It's, you know, it's tough on those guys. It's just like a family, right? Because they come in, sometimes they're working 16 hours days, right? 2 8-hour shifts. And sometimes that's a little overwhelming. So they get frustrated just like, you know, our children get frustrated. As a parent who was often frustrated, it can be a lot. And so there's nothing wrong to recognize, you know, I don't push the staff a lot. I just encourage. Because the more they see the way I interact with them, you know, and what works and what doesn't, right? That way they can learn. And I always, if they have questions, they can ask. Right? That's the biggest key. And I always encourage that discussion. Right? So if they want to understand something about my guy, yeah. I haven't fished in a while. All right. Let's go finish this up. I'm going to probably get back on and do some fishing later. I haven't thought about doing a live, and I may. All right. Let's see. There. Yep. We'll put that out. We'll put that out. I need to make a new teapot. Yeah. Let's do that right now. I'll make another watering can. I think yesterday I sold mine. Try that again. Good. Well done. Okay, now we're going to sell some stuff. Okay. No can. We're going to sell that. We're going to sell that and that. Yeah, we'll sell that too. All right. Let's change some things and then we'll go handle ourselves. Oh, I forgot to do this. Sweet. I got a glowing moss dress. Something I've really wanted for years. DIY. Do that one. Okay. That should get us moving forward. My son is a homebody. He doesn't like to go anywhere. So the staff have a hard time taking him places. And I think that's important. They're doing their best. You know, he is who he is. He's not going to change. Take that one. You know, he was like that at my house, too. So, he did like to go to the zoo. Oh. And he's been to the Wild Animal Park in San Diego. He's been to the San Diego Zoo, Legoland, SeaWorld. Lucky guy, actually. So he knows a lot of these things. Away. And place. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you will probably see me back on today. But right now, we are going to call it a day. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and I hope your day turns out well. Thank you.